Let's talk about some movies. I'm Ryan Bueller, and today I'm going to be talking about Raya and the Last Dragon. But before we get into that movie, I wanted to start a new segment for these videos. Like how I'm doing the movie recommendations at the end. And at the beginning of the video, if possible, I will be talking about a first-time watch of the week. A movie that isn't a new movie that I could just talk about briefly. And that movie this week is All My Life, directed by Mark Myers, starring Jessica Roth and Henry Shum Jr. The movie is based off of a true story, and it's about a couple, while planning for their wedding, get some bad news from the doctors. I always love movies that are based off true stories because it's always interesting and fascinating to watch and learn about something that really happened, to see incredible stories that have happened to people. And it's always awesome when Hollywood gives these stories an outlet to be shown to the whole world. Yeah, Hollywood usually makes them more dramatic, but I thought they did a great job with this one. And when it's based off a true story, it always feels a little bit deeper and more personal compared to a normal movie, most of the time. The main focus of the movie are the themes of appreciating every day that you have, not letting each day blend together, really just looking at the bright side of things. And when something happens, people coming together, whether it's family, friends, or even strangers. And that's where like the core of this story is people coming together. We get to see these two individuals meet and fall in love, and it's a great story. Both of the leads do a fantastic job with their characters, and as a duo, they had great chemistry. They kind of felt like almost like a dream couple. They were really believable, and they're kind of like what you want in a relationship. Jessica Roth brought her A game. If you don't recognize her, she is the girl who plays the lead from Happy Death Day. And I love that movie, and I loved her in that, so it was cool to see her in a different role. But she did a great job with this performance, especially when it came down to the emotional scenes. I thought she did a great job, and she impressed me. The instrumental music for this movie stood out to me personally. There was a couple tracks that I kind of like got into while it was going on, and they definitely, like, it was impressive, and there are definitely songs that I could see myself adding to my playlist that I listen to while I work, so that's awesome. The only criticism I have for this movie, now that I think of it, really isn't that big of a criticism, because this movie really focuses on the bright side of things, and it focuses on being a happier movie. Based off of the plot of the film, I was expecting this really sad movie, and I was honestly a little hesitant on watching it because like I was like, do I really feel like crying right now? Or getting really upset. But this movie chose to focus on the bright side of things, and yeah, it kind of left out certain aspects towards the end of the story that I felt like kind of hurt the emotional aspect. But because I think the movie was going for a more heartfelt story, I think it actually might be a pro over a con. So there really isn't that much that I have to say that is wrong about this movie. I think it's overall a really great film. Plus, at the end of the film, we actually got footage of the couple. I always like at the end of inspired by true story movies, we get like some facts or some pictures of the real people, and in this sake, we got to see actual footage of the couple, and I thought that was really cool, and it kind of brought some kind of emotional aspect to it that I appreciated. But yeah, I definitely would recommend checking it out. The movie is All My Life. Now getting to the main event, that is Raya and the Last Dragon, that just came out in theaters and is streaming on Disney Plus with Premier Access. Premier Access is where you have to pay $30 and you get to watch it. What I can understand is you get to watch it for unlimited time, so you don't have to worry about like watching it that day. It seems like you have it all the way up to when it gets released to the public for free on Disney Plus at the beginning of June. I completely understand waiting until then, but I think it's a bargain for spending the $30. It's priced at 2 movie tickets, and you can gather friends and family and all watch it together for a smaller cost. Even though it's Disney, it's still supporting the industry, and I don't think I could live without movies, especially movie theaters. But yeah, the movie is directed by Don Hall, Carlos Lopez Estrada, and stars Kelly Marie Tran. If you don't recognize that name, she played Rose in Star Wars The Last Jedi. It was really nice to see her get the spotlight because even though I'm not a big fan of Star Wars The Last Jedi, she did still do a good job with her character. I know a lot of people hated and really treated her badly because of that movie, and Star Wars fans can be really vicious. I definitely disagree with everything that happened. It's not her fault that you didn't like the movie. So it was nice that she got well represented in this movie, taking on a lead role, and I thought she did a great job. The movie is about Raya. She lives in Kumandra, this land made up of 5 different families. When this ancient race is awoken, they spread across the land, and anything they touch turns to stone, and it kind of turns everything into this kind of post-apocalyptic world, and Raya goes on this quest to find the last dragon and save the world. So it really has everything to be a great movie. It has Disney behind it. It had a good cast. Animation was spectacular. Really mesmerizing, really smooth and fluent, and it was just really nice to look at. And it's always awesome watching these movies because they just get better and better as the movies go on. But the story itself, really, this lone samurai story exploring the land, saving people, and this post-apocalyptic feel was awesome, and I loved everything about it. The movie chose to be a little bit more mature than these kind of Disney movies have been in the past, like Tangled, Frozen, and Moana. There's no singing. It chooses to be more grounded and more mature, which I appreciated. I enjoyed. The movie also had some great morals and lessons to be taught, so that's always good with these movies. The character designs for everybody. Raya, she's badass. This lone samurai with her cool samurai hat and this awesome sword. Really awesome. And her animal friend, Nuck Nuck, I think the name is, where he like turns into a ball and she like rides him. That's super cool. Just everybody, like the design for all the different kinds of families to kind of show them being different. Everybody kind of had their own thing. Everybody had really cool designs. Everything was really well designed for this movie. The fight scenes, even though there weren't that many of them, they were really awesome and felt authentic to the genre. I just wish there was a little bit more of them because that's like watching like a samurai movie. You just want to watch some fight scenes, some sword fights, and I don't think we really got too much of that. I feel like there should have been a little bit more. The biggest problem I had with this movie is probably the characters and the pacing. I just don't think we got truly invested in any of the characters. We got invested in Raya's story, but not quite of the character herself and her relationships with each of the other characters. I felt like it was kind of like a character was introduced, this is their thing, and then they're just a part of the group, and then she goes on and meets more people. We didn't really get time to like get invested in their story, and with these movies like Tangled and Moana, I like fell in love with these characters like as soon as we meet them, and it has this really rewatchability. I don't know if Ryan's gonna have that because I just didn't fall in love with the characters, and I think that hurts the movie the most. And also, I think the pacing wasn't the best. The beginning of the movie is like a whole flashback scene, and then we get to present day. It kind of takes away a lot of the, like, there wasn't really much mystery in the film. I think it kind of should have started in present day and then kind of had flashback scenes to kind of introduce the relationship between Raya and what's going on, and the relationship between her and her nemesis, and like what she's doing. I think it should have slowly been explained, and then instead of it being fully explained at the beginning and then just watching the story unfold. And then it kind of felt, once we get rolling with like the introducing new characters, it kind of happened pretty quickly. It's kind of a little bit rushed, I think. I don't think they really took the time to delve into the characters or the situation. It kind of just, it smoothly goes along, but I don't think it perfectly goes along. I don't think they properly told the story. And that's really the biggest thing. Once it got to the end, I didn't really feel it like I was expecting to. I want to give this another shot, rewatch it, because I did pay for the premiere access, so I can watch it again. So I'll probably do that to see if my opinion changes, because I didn't really have that great of a day when I watched it. But based off of my experience, those are my thoughts on the movie. It is streaming on Disney Plus. Go check it out. And I'm gonna do a movie recommendation of the week. Now, I was trying to think of a movie based off of Raya, and like I was like, okay, Tangled, those kind of movies, because Tangled's one of my favorite movies of all time. I was like, that makes sense, but I feel like you probably have seen those movies if you're watching this film, and especially if you have Disney Plus, you probably have seen them. So I thought of doing something different. So the movie I'm going to be recommending is actually a trilogy of movies, and that is the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. These were some of those movies like I watched when I was a kid, and that was about it. But then, like 2 years ago, I rewatched all of them, and I saw Kung Fu Panda 3 for the very first time with some friends, and I fell in love with this trilogy. I think I know most people won't agree with it, but I think this trilogy has the potential of being one of the best trilogies out there on characters, consistent with the story, an overarching story, a good arc, just really falling in love with the characters, and having very good villains for each of the films. All three, I think, are top-notch villains, and I honestly think they're better than most of what we've gotten with the Marvel movies. Now, if I had to pick one to recommend, I would probably say, I don't have it right here, but I would say Kung Fu Panda 2. I think is the best one. We already have been introduced to all the characters. I think it's more heavy on the relationship with the characters, and I just think the overall story is the best, and I think the finale, I think, has the potential of being the best. I don't know, 3 had a pretty awesome one. But, yeah, if you're looking for that, like, Kung Fu, martial arts, samurai animated movie, but it's still for kids, I definitely 100% recommend checking out any of the Kung Fu Panda movies. Perfect case scenario, I would say just watch all 3 of them, because they're all fantastic films. Definitely worth checking out. Maybe I'll do a video on the Kung Fu Panda trilogy at another time, so I can really delve into my opinion on each film. Let me know down below if you want me to do that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on all 3 of these movies. Go check them all out. All My Life, Raya and the Last Dragon, and any of the 3 Kung Fu Pandas. Yeah, thank you for listening, and you guys have a great day, and go watch some movies and enjoy yourself. Have a good one.